So people, I think, would be surprised to hear, Matt, that although we're both cyclists, I don't think we've ever ridden together. I don't think we've ever ridden in a group ride. I don't think we've ever raced. We were about to race, I think.
Yeah.
But do you want to tell people how we first met?
Well, how Ian and I first met. Well, it was 2011. I was 16 and in high school.
Here in Rochester.
Yeah, and that was my first year that I really started riding. And I was part of the G2 program at that point. And we were at Genesee Valley Park Crit. And John Holden and I were taking our spare wheels over to the pit. And it was before racing had started. We were coming around a corner, and someone who was warming up had come around the corner, didn't see me. I didn't see him. I don't really remember. Mm-hmm. And next thing I know, I hear Ian over me asking if it'd be all right if he could help me. And I'm like, yeah, sure. What? I don't know.
Asking for consent.
Yeah. And so I had been involved in an accident where a cyclist who was warming up on the course had ran head on into me, literally head on. His shoulder hit my face and ended up fracturing some bones in my face and messing up my eye a bit. So yeah, that was.
What's your vision? I mean, because I can see right now your pupil is a little bit.
Yeah. So
what's your vision like in that eye?
I'm completely blind in my left eye, so that makes racing a bit interesting for me. Definitely don't favor crits or races where there's a lot of close contact, a lot of cornering. It's far more challenging for me. So I've always kind of favored longer road races where, those tight bunch sprint type situations don't occur, and I can try to get away and breakaways and limit the number of people who are around me at one time.
And it's funny, I went to grad school with a guy who was, I think, like 90% legally 90% blind in one eye, and he commented, so it's your left eye. Do you like to tend to stay more towards the left side of the peloton so you can see everything out of your right eye?
I always find myself positioning on the left, usually on the left side, which is hard in smaller races where you're confined by the yellow line, because I'm always on it, always getting warned by the refs and stuff to be mindful of the yellow line rule. But the nice thing is last year most of the races we did were full road closure, so that wasn't really
nice.
a problem.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
Let me just I want to give my recollection of that day in Genesee Valley Park. So I remember were carrying your wheels while you were on your bike.
Yeah.
You were pedaling slow, but everyone was warming up. If you're looking straight down at the park, everyone was warming up in a clockwise, and that's the way the race was going to run.
Yep.
You were coming onto the course counterclockwise against the flow of traffic. And if I can remember this, so you guys were doing the squirrel. Like, if squirrel goes right, you go right, squirrel goes right. Squirrel goes left, you turn left. And so you guys were approaching each other. You guys were both going the same way. And I think that the guy grabbed a ton of front brake. He went right over the handlebars. And I believe, this is the way I saw it, is there a possibility that his chain ring got you in the face?
No, we believe
so?
It was his shoulder, because he separated his shoulder, and there were no signs of like any sharp objects making contact with my face. No, because, I mean, I had lacerations to my nose and to my eye as well. But if it was a chain ring, it would have been dirty. And I think that was one of the things they said, is I was fortunate that there was no dirt or any kind of contamination in there that could have caused problems. Because ultimately, they were able to save my eye, and they were able to, sew everything back up, and I never had any infection problems or anything like that. So
I certainly do remember asking you for consent, and your parents were right there, and they answered for you, yes. So, scary day. Glad you're okay, and glad you're still racing.
Yeah, no, and there are people who said, I may never ride really race a bike again, but I guess I was at a point where I was, just kind of falling in love with the sport, falling in love with being on a bike, and I spent all summer just in my bed looking out the window. Just that was all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of instilled that desire to get out on the road and explore what was out there. And now I try to just it was also kind of a catalyzing event that has made me realize to just make the most of all the opportunities that present themselves. So yeah, it kind of might be a blessing in disguise, I guess.
True. Be positive.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're gonna call that good.
Awesome.
Matt Brophy, thanks so much.
Thank you.